Ever get that feeling, like you're in a conversation or maybe watching a show, and all of a sudden, bam, someone throws out a word or a phrase that totally throws you off?
Yeah, like everyone else is on some inside joke. You're just kind of left there wondering what in the world they're talking about.
Exactly. And often that, my friend, is the wonderful world of slang. That's what we're diving deep into today. English slang, all those casual expressions and phrases that just make everyday language so colorful and, well, sometimes confusing.
What I find fascinating is that slang is like this living, breathing thing. It's not just random words, right? It reflects how we connect with each other, how we form these shared identities, and even how we sort of play around with language, pushing back against the more formal ways of speaking.
Absolutely. And that's why we're here. We want to give you more than just definitions. We want you to walk away understanding how slang works so you can navigate informal English with more confidence. Imagine you're watching your favorite show, no more feeling lost because of some casual phrase. Maybe even tossing in a slang term yourself when it feels right.
It's about feeling comfortable, feeling connected.
For sure. And, stepping back for a second, understanding slang helps you get the culture. It unlocks these layers of meaning and humor that you might miss if you're just focused on the textbook stuff.
It's like getting the inside scoop on how people really talk and express themselves.
Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of specific slang words, it's important to remember that this is informal territory. You wouldn't exactly drop these terms in a job interview or, when you're presenting to the big bosses.
Right. Context is everything. It's knowing when and where using slang is appropriate.
Okay, so basic question. What exactly is slang?
Well, at its core, slang is informal language. It thrives in casual conversations, especially amongst people who have something in common, like friends, people in the same age group, online communities, you name it.
And it's everywhere, right?
No, absolutely.
I mean, think about it. Movies are packed with it. Song lyrics practically breathe slang. And social media, online chats, forget about it. It's like a breeding ground for new slang every single day.
Exactly. And that's precisely why it's so important to understand it. It affects how fluent you sound. When you can use slang naturally, you sound less like a textbook and more like, well, a real person.
Yeah, it's not just about sounding good. It's also about understanding what you hear. I mean, how many times have you been watching a movie and suddenly there's this slang word that throws you completely off?
It happens all the time. Knowing slang helps you pick up those little nuances so you get the joke or you really understand the emotion behind what someone is saying.
It's like having a secret decoder ring for everyday conversation. And beyond just understanding, slang can really help you connect with people. I mean, using the same slang as someone else can instantly make you feel like you're on the same wavelength,
Oh,
right?
yeah. It builds a kind of instant rapport, like you're part of the same group. It can be super powerful, especially if you're trying to fit in or make friends in a new place.
So we've established slang is important. It helps you sound more natural, understand better, and connect with people. But again, remember the context. Casual hangouts, online chats, those are your safe spaces.
Exactly. Use your best judgment. In more formal settings, it's usually best to stick with standard English just to be safe.
All right, are you ready? Let's get into some actual slang terms. We're going to give you a starter kit of some popular ones you'll likely hear out in the wild. For each one, we'll give you a clear definition and a quick example to show you how it's used. First up, lit.
Ooh, lit. This one has such energy, such excitement. It's like something is on fire, but in a good way.
Exactly. Lit basically means amazing, fantastic, a really good time. Like you might hear someone say, that party last night was so lit,
Yeah.
meaning it was super fun and exciting.
Next up, we've got chill. This one's cool because it can be both a way to describe someone or something and an action too.
Right. So chill can describe a relaxed, calm state of being, like, I'm just chilling at home today, meaning taking it easy, relaxing. But it can also be a verb like, hey, want to chill later, meaning hang out casually.
Then we have sick, which is interesting because it takes a word that normally means bad, not feeling well, and flips it completely.
Totally. In slang, sick means really cool, impressive, awesome. Like, did you see her new phone? It's sick. It's all about context, right? Same word, totally different meaning.
Oh, absolutely. Context is key with slang. And speaking of context, our next term, ghost, has become pretty common in the digital age, and it's not always a good thing.
Unfortunately, no. To ghost someone means to completely disappear from their life, cut off all contact, no explanation, nothing. Like we went on a couple of dates and then he ghosted me. It's basically the digital version of just vanishing into thin air.
Ouch.
Yeah, not cool.
Okay, moving on to one that everyone's probably felt at some point. FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out.
Oh, FOMO. That's that anxious feeling you get when you see everyone else having fun and you're stuck at home or missing out. Like, everyone's going to that festival. I have such bad FOMO.
It's the social media age in a nutshell.
Hmm.
Now, this next one, salty, this is about a specific kind of negative emotion, usually in reaction to something pretty minor.
Right. To be salty means to be upset, annoyed, bitter, but usually over something that's not that big of a deal. Like, he's still salty that his team lost the game, even though it was just a friendly game.
Then we've got flex, which has a lot to do with how people present themselves, sometimes in a way that's, well, a little too showy.
To flex means to show off, brag, basically flaunt what you've got. Like, he's always flexing his new car, meaning he's always trying to make sure everyone sees it and knows how cool he is.
Next, we have vibe, which is a more general term for the feeling or atmosphere of a place or situation.
Yeah, vibe is all about the overall mood or feeling you get from something. Like, this cafe has a really chill vibe, meaning it's a relaxed, comfortable place to hang out.
Our next to last term is slay, and this one's all about doing something exceptionally well or looking absolutely amazing.
To slay means to completely kill it, to do something fantastic. Like, she totally slayed that presentation, meaning she nailed it, impressed everyone.
And finally, we have low-key, which is a way to describe something you want to keep subtle, not make a big deal out of.
Right. Low key suggests something's true or happening, but you're not shouting it from the rooftops. Like, I'm low-key stressed about this exam, meaning you are stressed, but you're not freaking out about it.
So there you have it, a crash course in some essential English slang. But knowing the words is just the beginning. The real challenge is using them naturally, like a native speaker.
Totally. So how do you actually start using these words without sounding like you're trying too hard? Well, step one, pay attention to how native speakers use them.
Exactly. Movies, TV shows, online videos, even eavesdropping on conversations, always respectfully, of course. Pay attention to the situations, the tone of voice, who's using which words. It's like detective work for slang.
Right. You'll start to see the patterns, the subtle ways slang is used in different contexts. And don't feel like you need to use all of these words at once. Start small, pick one or two that feel comfortable, and try them out in casual conversations.
It's like trying on a new outfit. See how it feels, see how people react. And remember, context is everything. Think about who you're talking to and the situation.
Absolutely. You wouldn't use the same slang with your friends as you would with, say, your grandma.
Right.
And practice makes perfect. If you have friends who are native English speakers, try using some of these slang terms with them. Don't be afraid to ask for feedback. They can tell you if you're using them correctly and naturally.
And most importantly, don't overdo it. A little bit of slang goes a long way. If you use too much, it can start to sound forced and unnatural.
Okay, are you ready for a quick pop quiz? Let's see if you've been paying attention. We'll give you a sentence with one of the slang terms, and you see if you can figure out what it means.
All right, first one. I can't believe he ghosted her after all that. What does ghosted mean in this sentence? Think back to the definition.
The answer is he completely stopped contacting her.
You-
Did you get it? All right, next one. This party is going to be so lit. What does lit mean in this context?
Think about the feeling of a really great party. What kind of energy does lit describe?
The answer is the party is going to be amazing, super fun, exciting. Last one. Why are you so salty? It was just a game. What does salty mean here?
Imagine someone who lost a game and is not happy about it. What emotion does salty describe?
And the answer is upset, annoyed, maybe even a little bitter. How did you do?
Hopefully that little quiz helped you see how those words actually work in sentences.
Before we wrap up, let's talk about some common slang mistakes to avoid. We want to make sure you use these words correctly and confidently.
Right. Knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what to do.
First things first, we can't emphasize this enough. Formal situations are not the place for slang. Job interviews, important meetings, writing a paper for school, stick to standard English. Using slang in those settings can make you seem unprofessional.
It's all about reading the room, being sensitive to the context. You want to come across as respectful and competent, and in formal situations, standard English is usually the best way to do that.
Another mistake is overuse. Like we said before, a little slang goes a long way. If you use it too much, it starts to sound forced and unnatural.
Exactly. Think of it like spices in cooking. A little bit can add flavor, but too much can ruin the whole dish.
And here's a big one. Slang changes quickly. What's cool and trendy today might be totally outdated tomorrow.
Right. It's like fashion. Trends come and go. So keep your ear to the ground, notice what words people are using, and try not to use slang that sounds old-fashioned.
Finally, pay attention to pronunciation. Slang words, just like any other words, have specific ways they're pronounced. Listen carefully to how native speakers say them.
Exactly. It's easy to mispronounce slang if you're just reading it and not hearing it spoken aloud. So listen closely and try to imitate the correct pronunciation.
All right, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the amazing world of English slang. We hope you learned some new words, got a better understanding of how slang works, and feel more confident about using it yourself.
Remember, slang is all about expressing yourself, connecting with people, and having fun with language. So go out there, keep your ears open, and don't be afraid to try out a few new words.
Now, here's a final thought for you. Slang is constantly changing, right? So, what slang words or phrases do you think will become super popular in the future? And which ones do you think will fade away? What does that tell us about how our culture is changing and how we communicate with each other?
It's an interesting question to consider. Language is never static, it's always evolving, and slang is a great reflection of that. So keep paying attention, keep learning, and who knows, maybe you'll even invent the next big slang term.
The future of slang is in your hands.